So I've had a few questions on how to change the barrels on the Rising Block double rifles. So I thought I'd cover that and go over just a couple of features I've already gone over a little bit on the action, but I just wanted to show them again. First one being the safety. As you can see, instead of a slide, it's a lever that shifts side to side, and this safety is a lot more reliable in my opinion, because it rotates a block that's in between the sear and the rear of the trigger. When the trigger is pulled, there's a leg on the front of the trigger that holds the sear up, and as it tips forward, the sear wants to fall down and allows the striker to move forward. When you rotate this block into position on the safety, it sandwiches itself between the triggers, so the trigger can neither move up and the sear cannot fall down, which are the only directions it can move to allow the rifle to trip and to go off. Also, the safety is still engaged all the way to about 75% of its travel, so it has to be all the way to the fire position in order for the gun to go off. So it, if the safety gets bumped a little bit or something like that, which happens, it's still on safe, and it can be double checked. I've used these enough now to where it's very simple to operate, very quiet, very smooth. It's right there where your thumb is. So also, on all of the big bore Rising blocks, you have an articulated front trigger, so whenever you pull the rear trigger and the recoil shoves your hand forward, the front trigger gives a little bit, which saves your finger. It can get quite uncomfortable after shooting a rifle that doesn't have this feature. So in order to change the barrels out, you open the action, and you see this cross pin that links the underlever to the barrel block. You simply take a little punch, push that pin out, and the barrels give a little wiggle, and they'll come off. And then we'll put the 500 nitro barrels on and slide them together and line the doll's head up, and just give them a little wiggle again. About right there. You want this oval slot to be, the bottom of that slot to be even with the top rail of the action. Simply take the cross pin, push it in, make sure it's seated all the way, and that's it. As you saw, the 4-inch stays attached through the whole process. It never has to come off. And the cross pin is just essentially a hardened dowel pin. There's nothing special about it. It can be made very easily if it's lost or damaged. Also, as the rifle would wear, a larger pin can be installed very easily, and the rifle returns back to service with no issues. So, as you can also see, the rifle's not difficult to operate. Doesn't take a lot of force to open and close it. And anyway, there we go. Thank you.